Grace Sewa, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel, Live Convos with Grace. Today, we'll be talking about how communication in friendships can be easy. So grab yourself a glass of wine or coffee, or if tea is your thing, just go for it. And if you just want some water, grab that and let's talk. In my previous video, I was talking about the types of friends that you should keep, and then the types of friends that you should consider letting go or let go completely. And if you didn't watch that episode, you should go back and check it out in my previous video. In this episode, we'll be talking about how communication in friendships can be easy. Typically, some people are naturally not great at communicating, and then some people are just so free-flowing when it comes to communication. However, when it comes to friendship, the dynamics are a little bit different, and they require you to be a certain type of communicator or listener, and vice versa, in order to have a very good and effective communication between you and your friends. The first thing I'd like us to look at is regular check-ins. Typically, when you have a friend, you would want to check in with your friend every now and then. Make it regular. If you're like me, who doesn't really keep up with friends as much, and you would love to, maybe set some reminders on your phone or alarms on a particular day at a particular time that you know for sure you will be less busy or not occupied with too much of important stuff, and then just call your friend or text your friend, or sometimes if it is that bad, email your friend and check in with them. Just find out how they're doing, and for all you know, that phone call or that message or that email that came in it's like the exact thing that they needed to hear or to see for that day, and they would pour out whatever it is that they're experiencing to you, be it some good news that they have just heard or some sad news that they would like someone to share with, and just have a shoulder to cry on. So number one, I would say it is very important to have regular check-ins with your friends, and also as a friend, be open to receive regular check-ins from your friends. The second thing I'd like us to look at is to be a good listener. Not a lot of people are good listeners. I would say, or I would consider myself a very good listener because I love to hear people out. However, not everyone is going to be like me, and probably some people are also way better than I am. I'm pretty sure. So it's a good trait to have, or it's a good trait to learn, to be a very good listener. You may have a friend who is very vocal about their feelings, emotions, and thoughts, but then there are people who naturally are not. So you have to be that kind of friend to get them to trust you enough to talk to you or to open up to you. And when they do, make sure you're ready to listen and to hear them out completely, and not cut into their speech or cut into their moments where they're expressing their thoughts and feelings, but rather give them that open space and time to vent and let everything out. And if you're in a good space, you can listen and encourage them afterwards, or just listen and cheer them on. If it's just like some future plans that they're sharing with you, be ready to cheer them on and encourage them, and etc., etc. However, if it is something that they need advice from, you check in with them to find out if they are ready or they really are sharing this with you in order for you to give them some solutions first. If they say that they just want to vent, let it be that. However, if they let you know that they would love your suggestions or some advice from you or counsel from you, then go ahead and share whatever it is that you're led to share with them. The third thing I would like us to look at is expressing ourselves in friendships. Make sure to learn how to express yourself when you're with a friend or when you have friends. Especially with people that are a little bit timid or reserved, you have to find a way that you can express yourself to them so that they do not coil back into their shells. However, if you have a friend who's open to receiving any kind of self-expression, and I guess they're used to you and how you communicate with them, you can go ahead and express yourself fully to them because I guess you can trust them, and that's why you're able to even do that in the first place. So do not shun away from expressing yourself freely to establish that deeper connection with your friends. The fourth thing I would like to talk about is humor. Injecting humor into communication relaxes the mood and lightens up the atmosphere in a friendship and allows people to express themselves, like the previous point that I talked about. Because if you are someone who naturally is not funny, but then you make a sarcastic statement, or you find some way somehow to inject humor, it could be sending of a meme, it could be sending of a sticker in a conversation or a gif or anything like that, just to create some form of humor to lighten the atmosphere. Some conversations may be a little bit too heavy, others too may be too serious. However, as soon as you inject some form of humor in the conversation, you lighten up the atmosphere and you allow the person to relax a little bit. And even you, it has that effect on you who is sharing that humorous gif or meme or statement into the conversation. So go ahead and inject your humor into your conversations. The fifth thing I would like to talk about is stay positive. You have no idea, it is so underrated. Being positive in a friendship is a very important thing to practice and to do. Focusing on the positive aspects of each other's lives in a friendship promotes an optimistic and supportive environment. For instance, you may have a friend who's going through a challenge, and you yourself may also be going through a challenge. However, as soon as you realize that you inject some form of humor into your conversation, and then you bring in the positive aspect and say, hey, but look at the brighter side of things, and then you pull out the positives in the situation that they may be going through, you realize that it immediately shifts the environment and makes it a more positive environment. It's almost like, yes, there's chaos going on, but then there's some good in the chaos that you look forward to coming out and being the ultimate result. The next point I would like to talk about is shared activities. You have no idea how much sharing activities with your friends can foster the growth of friendships. Having activities with your friends, be it virtually or in person, can really foster growth and allow you and your friends to create some memories that you both can share and go back to in conversations, to refer to and laugh over or cry over or just reminisce to make a point in a future event. So it is very important in friendships to share activities with our friends by scheduling and planning out events, or even just stuff to do, like even if it's just a game that you can both play virtually. It can create some very good memories and shared experiences between you and your friends. Sometimes our friends may offend us and create some form of tension in the friendship. However, there are a few things that you can do to make tension die out or just outright disappear in the friendship. And now this brings me to my next point. Apologize and forgive. Sometimes you may be sharing experiences and sharing activities and be doing all these things together, but through these activities or experiences, you may offend your friend or you may feel offended by your friend. And so it's very important to learn how to apologize and forgive. Apologies and forgiveness are very important and they should be reciprocated. There would be a time where you will offend your friend, and it's very important to know that if you simply acknowledge that part where you went wrong and apologize for it, it can really bring tensions down. However, if you are apologized to because you were the one who was offended, and this person is genuine in their apology, then you should also give them room and forgive them, because this will allow your friendship to grow stronger. Whether you see it or not, it will simply mean that you have been through thick and thin, and because you've been able to go past that conflict resolution and apologies have been rendered and forgiveness have been given, that's it. You've been through thick and thin. Now, sometimes when some of these things have happened in friendships and people have been offended and people have been forgiven and apologies have been rendered, etc., 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 you realize that some friends will decide to create boundaries between them and yourself, or you would even decide to create some form of boundaries between you and your friends because you do not want them to cross a certain line anymore. And this brings me to my next point, which is respecting boundaries. It is very important to have boundaries as a person between you and your friends, and then also to respect their boundaries that they may form between you and themselves. It is not always that boundaries are spelled out or stated clearly. However, sometimes you may see it based on the kind of conversations that they're open to having with you and the kind of conversations that you are open to having with them. So over time, you will realize that you do not want to go past this particular topic or even this depth when it comes to this particular topic. For instance, when it comes to marital relationships, if you are a group of friends who are all married, you may talk about some things generally about your marriages, but not go beyond a certain point in the topics that you talk about, just to create that boundary and that respect between you and your friends. You may also have friends who are disabled, who are probably facing some kind of challenge in their life, and they may confide in you about it, but they may not expect you to go beyond the aspect that they've spoken to you about and probably probe a little further. So if you want to do anything like that, I would ask permission, for instance, if you are allowed to ask about it. And if they say no, don't feel offended or hurt. Just let it be. Respect those boundaries. It should work the same way, vice versa. Another thing that can make friendships thrive is supporting each other's achievement. When you have friends and you are very good at supporting their achievements, and they are also very supportive of all your achievements, no matter how big or how small they are, you realize that you really cherish those friendships. You always go to them because you know for sure that they're going to cheer you on, and they will always come to you because they know for sure that you are going to cheer them on. Basically, you are each other's cheerleaders, and it's so fun and a beautiful thing to experience in a friendship. And this is another factor that allows communication between friends to grow and to be easier because they can trust you with their achievement, knowing that you will for sure be there to cheer them on all the way through. In the end, I would say that leverage all forms of communication in order to make your friendship thrive. Leverage the mediums of texting, video calls, just regular audio calls, emails sometimes, and I guess even writing letters to each other. And all these forms of communication and all these factors that make communication easier in friendships will definitely fuel the growth and the enjoyment of your friendship. These are some of the ways that you can communicate easily in any kind of friendship and in all your friendships that you have. In my next episode, I will be talking about some of the challenges that we face in friendships that have really changed the dynamics and how people approach friendships these days. It is a little sad, but that's not the end. Definitely something can be done about it. Let's meet again in my next episode on how to resolve certain kinds of challenges in our friendships. Until then, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon to get a notification whenever I post a new video. Enjoy your friendships.